Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Life and Sound podcast. I'm your host, Kid Capone. Today I have an amazing guest with me, Ty. He's a Sacramento-based sample maker and producer with 2 releases on the Drum Broker at the time of this recording and a 3rd on the way. I'm excited to have him on the show. I've been a fan for a minute. Ty, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, man. Just getting the day going, just got done eating some good lunch, just excited for the day, excited for the interview.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure, man. I've been a fan for a minute, and I know you're going to have some good information to share with the community.
Yeah, I don't hold back when it comes to if you ask me how do you mix your vocals or something, I'm not going to gatekeep anything.
I love that, man. I feel like that's something that's definitely necessary in the community. I want everybody to win and succeed, so we got to be sharing those kind of information and secrets,
Mm-hmm.
We'll start off with some of the easier questions, and then towards the end of the interview, we'll move on to some of the more technical kind of nerdy stuff.
Awesome.
All right. Where did you get your name as an artist and as a brand?
So the main thing, I've been making music for a while. I think over 6 years now. And I started my YouTube 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And the only thing that was keeping me from putting stuff out was I didn't really have a name. I didn't know what to call myself. I couldn't think of anything cool. Like some producers or some people are just born with a name that is it just sounds cool. I don't know if Eli Brown, I don't know if that's his real name, but that's just a perfect producer name.
I agree.
But for me, I just chose Prod by Ty. It was supposed to be temporary and I was gonna change it. And then eventually I asked on my story, I was like, should I change my producer name? And everyone was like, no. And
there you go.
Personally, I hate it. It's just super bland. It's super not creative. But
yeah, but I think it works though. I feel like it is it's recognizable. I know when I see, your YouTube channel or your sample packs, I feel like I already kind of know that person, and now I'm finally putting a face to the name.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's a good identity. We know who you are, I feel like.
Thank you. And then you said, how did I come up with my brand, right?
Yeah, kind of the brand. I guess, your name and brand are kind of synonymous.
I guess, yeah. Honestly, it's I kind of was built over time. I started just posting for fun, because I made beats and I made music and stuff, and I didn't really have anywhere to put it. So I just threw it on YouTube just for the heck of it. And then it just ended up being something that I could do as not only a hobby, but as a lifestyle.
I love that. That's amazing. What are your future plans for yourself and the brand right now?
I'm hoping to get to a point where it's not just placements, but just having a platform where I could have music be sustainable in terms of I could live off it, and I could travel for music and stuff, and not just be I don't want to be some kid in my room making beats forever,
Definitely.
I want to grow, but I also want to have a platform so I could have eventually I want to start a collective or something, and just there's a bunch of stuff I want to do.
Yeah, you're just kind of slowly taking the steps day by day, by making the packs, by making your beats, by making connections with people. You're following that path towards the future you want to be living in.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Yeah, for me, I'm starting out this podcast because I really wanted to give sample makers like you, like myself, everybody that I love and appreciate in the music scene right now. I want to give them a platform, and I also want to eventually, turn it into almost like a lifestyle blog one day, where maybe I get to fly to Switzerland and go hang out with Al Hug and cook up in his studio. Then maybe I fly over to the UK and link up with Elkin, make stuff with him.
That'd be cool. That'd be super sick.
Yeah, just, taking it on the road and traveling the world, but doing it in a way where music is the centerpiece and like I'm just
Yeah.
following my joy the whole time.
Yeah, that'd be sick if it's like in a way like the Guy Fieri show, like drivers dine-ins and dimes or something. And
Yeah.
you go to people's studios, watch how they do their stuff, and like that'd be sick.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be just like a different way of showing the behind the scenes of sample making.
Yeah.
Like, and it goes beyond just linking up and doing producer cookups, but you're showing like, you go to this place and not only are you making a sample with this person, but maybe you go out to eat at their favorite restaurant. You get to go see some of their favorite places, like
Yeah.
maybe I come and see you in Sacramento and you take me to the lake by your house and we just get to vibe and chill out.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
Yeah, man. Uh, where did you get the direction and vision for your sample pack artwork?
Oh man. It started the very first sample pack I did. So I was already doing artworks on this app called Pixart on my phone. And I used
Nice.
to do beat art on that. And then so eventually I got Photoshop and I kind of knew how to use it just because I knew the terms from Pixar. And what I didn't know how to do, I would just Google. Like that's just how I learned Photoshop. And it's not like I barely know how to use Photoshop, but I'm not like a graphic designer or anything. But for
Mm-hmm.
my first sample pack, I paid this guy because it was like I just wanted to support him because he was doing like $10 artwork. So I was like, could you do something like this? And then he did it, and then I was like, yeah, that's dope. And I paid him, and then but I ended up not really liking the artwork that much, so I made changes to it myself. And then the second sample pack, I was like, I want to do it myself because like if anyone knows what I want, it would be me, for
100%.
artwork. And then I was inspired by that one Rucker Collective cover. It was like 034 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, eventually, and then to me, all my old artworks are like trash. The same way I think all my old sample packs are trash today. But
I
like,
feel that.
yeah, I don't know. I just kept doing more graphic design just for fun. I never really did it. I never really cared about doing commissions or anything because I feel like I'm not good enough to do commissions, and I don't have as much of a graphic design passion as I do with like music. I just like doing things creatively and seeing stuff, getting inspiration from other artworks and like other images and designs and just implementing it into my own.
Yeah, man. Just kind of like following your inspiration and seeing what you can
Yeah.
create and learning as you go and just seeing how the feeling it gives you at the end of the project.
hmm Yeah, it takes forever too.
Hey, it's worth it in the end, though. I mean, I really like your beat artwork that you do on your YouTube. Like your sample artwork
Thank
is
you.
great. Like, so it's not going unnoticed.
Thank you. Yeah. Beat artworks, I I don't really do beat artworks just because it takes like a long time, but sample artworks, since it's like I worked on this pack for like 2 months or something, then I do the artwork myself and I want it to be like perfect, you know?
I love that. It's like, you're having complete creative control from start to finish.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. Uh, how would you say your relationship with music has changed now versus when you were a kid?
Man, when I started, or no, not even when I started, I didn't really care about music until like middle school. Before that, I just I just like listening to like the Black Eyed Peas or like random because I used to play a lot of video games, and you know how in the if you watch like YouTube videos of like video games, they have like EDM music. I used to be into EDM music,
Same.
but yeah, and then I started music by DJing. I just got this one app, and I would DJ EDM songs, and then it kind of grew from there. I got like an actual DJ controller. I got my own laptop, and then I like started doing it more, and then I got into producing. Well, it's kind of they both kind of overlapped. Like producing, I did DJing, but I was better at DJing at first, and then I got into producing more.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like produce like edits, like song edits, like the shit. because when you're DJing, you have two tracks playing at the same time. Some stuff you can't do like just with
On the
two tracks,
fly.
you know? Yeah. Some stuff you have to like do it in the DAW. So that's what I did.
That's
And
awesome.
then yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it kind of took like the initial inspiration of like wanting to DJ, and then you're like, okay, there's certain things I can't do, so I'm gonna make these edits and these songs, and then as you did that, it kind of transitioned you into being a producer. Did you start with EDM when you were producing?
Yeah, and I was really bad at it. It
I
was
mean, you
really
dove
hard to make.
you dove headfirst into like the hardest, like I think,
Yeah.
music to make. Like for me, that was the whole reason that I even started being a producer. Was I remember hearing Skrillex for the first time
Yeah.
in my life, and I had grown up on rock music and things like that,
Oh,
and
really?
indie music, and then when I heard Skrillex, I was like, what are these sounds? How do I make these sounds, these growls, these crazy
Yeah.
wobbles, you know? And so
Yeah.
that kind of led me down the path of doing that, and then transitioning to hip hop to make beats for a friend, and then eventually leads me to now to sample making. So I feel like you have a similar journey as I do.
Yeah, yeah. EDM was like going from EDM to beat making. It made beat making seem so easy.
Exactly.
But then like looking back, I was like terrible at making beats and I was also terrible at making EDM.
But see, you soldiered on through it, and like I feel like, look at you now, like you're making great samples, and maybe without, learning to make bad EDM beats and make bad beats, you wouldn't be as good of a musician as you are now.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that yeah, it's all about the growth. It's all about the time you put in. Like have you had people asking you like how do you make beats or something? Like it's so hard to give an answer with
I
like
agree.
there's no really set path because like there's not really a right or wrong for music. But there is also stuff that sounds good and stuff that sounds bad. But
Yeah.
like it's hard to teach to someone who hasn't put like a ton of time into beat making or any producing. It's really hard to explain like the mental process because it's just stuff you develop like you know which drums go where and you know arrangement and everything. But you found that out like to you it's like common sense now, but you learned it on your own and stuff.
Yeah, for me, like the way I even started making EDM and even hip hop beats in general was like my own little formula of downloading. Like I'd get the song, I'd drop it into my DAW, and I would cut each section, and I'd be like, okay, I know this song's at 128 BPM. I see that the intro is 30 seconds. So, and they
Yeah.
don't have a certain drum elements. Maybe it's like just a lead and kind of like a filtered like drums. It's like, okay, start there. Then at the drop or like, at the next part, it's like, oh, they're bringing in this bass sound, and then
Hmm.
the bridge and build happens here, and then the drop sounds like
Yeah.
this. And I remember originally I would even do that for producing like beats. Like I remember taking like Drake songs and dropping them into my DAW and just trying to recreate not not the beat itself, but recreating a beat inspired by that. It'd be the same
Hmm.
tempo, the same structure, but I would choose my own, pads and drum sounds and different things like that, and just try to make my best version of that beat as I could that ended up feeling original.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, yeah, making beats with an inspiration is so hard for me because like I'll make something and then I'll go listen back to the reference track and then and then I'll be like disappointed.
Aw, nah. Nah, but it's okay, just soldiering through that and just,
Hmm.
I feel like never giving up and realizing that there is no failure. It's just a stepping stone along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, what was the process like for creating your unknown sound sample pack?
The first one, I really, I was already doing like R&B samples at the time. One second.
You're good, bro. You're
Sorry, I
good.
have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I have bad allergies right now.
It's all right.
Um,
Thank you for soldiering through it, though. Your champ.
Thank you. Yeah, the first sample pack, the first unknown sample pack, I was doing a lot of R&B samples at the time, like with my packs before that and stuff, and I really liked the sound. And it was really just like me trying to do things that I wouldn't really be able to, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. Like making my voice sound like a female or something. Like I don't know how Koboli did it.
Oh, you got to
Have you,
watch my podcast interview with him. He talks about exactly how he does
oh
it.
really?
Yeah.
Man, I like asked him about it like almost a year ago, and he's like, yeah, I just sing. And I was
Well,
like, in my head, I was like, how, you know?
yeah, no, I mean, go watch the podcast with that I did with him. He literally breaks down exactly how he did it.
Oh, really? I gotta go check that out right after this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but really, it's just like pushing boundaries in the sense of like, not like I'm doing anything insane. It's just like making a realistic sounding like vintage sample just using like a DAW, like
Hmm.
stuff like that. Because like a lot of producers, and I know this for a fact, because like a lot of people don't have the budget or like the instruments or anything. A lot of producers are limited in terms of what they can make and then what they want to make. So I think just being able to make a like a VST guitar sound real, or like make your vocals sound like female because you don't want to like pay a vocal artist on like Fiverr or something, you know? Like
Yeah.
just all that stuff is kind of part of the what makes you proud of what you made. And I think that's what I was going for with my first Unknown pack, was like a bunch of R&B, but like even stuff that sounds like real songs, because like I can't sing. Like it's really, it takes like 20 takes, and I'll like, I won't auto tune it as much, but I'll like pitch it. Like my auto tune is I just get a pitch automation clip, and I like go up and down to correct where I'm like flat or sharp, you know?
Yeah. No, it's smart though. It's like even though you may be not as confident in your voice as maybe a professional vocalist is, you still
Hmm.
find a way to make it work. And in and of itself, you're creating this own unique character and style that you maybe wouldn't even be able to get using somebody else, you know? And that ends up making
Yeah.
your sound just that much more your own sound.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's really, I believe that an artist's style, in terms of even like not even music, like art, like painting or like or cooking or something. I believe it's really just their personal interpretation of like something else. Like if I make R&B, my style is what I pay attention to most, which is like vocals and instrumentation. Whereas other people, it could be like atmosphere and like textures and stuff.
I love that. That's very well said, man.
Thank you.
uh, how did you make the connection with Unknown to even get your music onto his library?
Oh, it's actually, it was really like, I got really lucky. Pardon me, I actually have to blow my nose.
You're good, bro.
Yeah, these allergies are killing me.
It's okay, man. We're all real here on the podcast. You know, we don't hold any
Yeah,
punches. You know, do what you got to do.
thank you. Yeah, so this one guy, he's he's a producer too, but he's also like really smart in terms of business. So his name is Daz, um, and he had this what's it called, platform, and where he would not sell sample packs, but he would send out sample packs for placements and stuff to like industry producers and artists.
Mm-hmm.
And he hit me up, and at the time I didn't really know who, I've never heard of him, and I didn't know like who he was and the connections he had and stuff. And he didn't, because at the time I think he was followed by like, or he was pitching this thing called Sample Pack Library, which is just the platform, and it
Mm-hmm.
only had like 100 followers and stuff. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down, because like as I don't know, I don't believe in like, if there's an opportunity, I don't believe in like passing it up unless it doesn't seem like it's worth it, you know?
Really smart.
So yeah, and thank you. And he hit me up and he's like, I was like, yeah, I'd love to. Like, how would how would I do it? And then we were just like talking, and then like I woke up and I woke up one morning, like I think before school, and then I saw that I had a DM from Unknown, and I was like, and he was like, hey man, like I love your stuff. How would you like to release under unknown? And then I was like, holy shit. And it's because Daz actually talked to Unknown and referred me to him.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's really just like, it was 100% by chance, you know?
Yeah, it was like, it was chance, but it was also the hard work you had already been putting into your
Yeah, yeah.
music, and then you taking a chance on yourself with the sample
Hmm.
music library, and then
Yeah.
he made the connection for you, and then an opportunity arose, and you were ready for the opportunity.
Hmm.
I
It's
love
really
that.
like, thank you. It's also like, kind of building your brand. Because sometimes, like when you have a good brand, I believe that the music doesn't even have to be like the best music ever. It's like
Yeah.
some people just have a really good brand and they don't even they get like placements and everything. They're like really well off and really they're really highly appraised. But it's and another way to explain it, it's like you don't buy the product, you buy the brand. Like there's like people would prefer to go buy Vans instead of like the $8 alternate from Walmart.
Yes, because it's the brand identity of Vans itself.
Yeah, exactly. And what you're doing by building your brand is just becoming the Vans rather than being the $8 Walmart knockoff, you know?
Well said, man. I agree 100% with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like, anybody can go get a cup of coffee anywhere, but a lot of people like to go to
Hmm.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's just the brand identity. Uh, how did you know when you were ready to release your first sample pack?
I was actually at the time I wanted to collab because I was a beat maker, just a beat maker. I wanted to collab with a bunch of producers. But like in terms of music, when you ask someone to collab for beats, normally you're the person who sends the sample because it's just like formalities or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I was making a bunch of samples and like I was like, oh, I hope this guy uses it and stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, oh, I could make a pack of these. But at the time, since I was I was mainly a beat maker,
Mm-hmm.
it was so hard for me to make a sample that I thought was decent without wanting to use it myself.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. And so I was making samples, and it was before I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I told myself like I'm gonna release a sample pack at 1,000. So I made the sample pack and I had it all ready. And like the week that it hit 1,000, I released the pack on that day, and it didn't do good at all. It like it actually it did get like two sales, but they were from my friends, and I like appreciate those guys like a ton. But the pack wasn't that good, honestly, and it was also like the YouTube algorithm, like going from posting beats like 2 3 times a week to a sample pack is like because people didn't sub to me for a sample pack because I never made them.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one didn't do that good, and then the second one I made it free, and that did it. It actually did like decent.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and then did you kind of use the free sample pack as a way to get, more connections, more emails, like people to kind of market to once you were ready to release your next pack?
I actually I never got into email marketing like I should have, but I did use I did use the free sample pack as like publicity in terms of like on Instagram. I posted like it was one of those like tag 3 people and post on your story type things to get the pack because that if you think about it, it creates like an insane web of like let's say 50 people comment and they all like tag 3 people. That's 100 people. That's 150 people being directed to your post. You know.
Yeah.
So
And
like,
that's definitely a way to like convert that into something more.
hmm yeah, and then maybe if those people want it, then they tag 3 more people, and then it just keeps going.
That's
So
genius.
I always like that concept, and then the story post too. And yeah, and honestly, if I could give advice to anyone who's starting off with sample packs, just do a free one and like do that because it helps you build your brand. It helps you get like followers and stuff. And especially if they see like if you make really good samples and you're giving them out for free, then people are gonna lose it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really smart way of marketing yourself and like you said, building the web of connections.
Thank you. Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be like 10 samples. It could be like a little. It could be like 3 samples like all it matters. Because as long as you're putting stuff out there, and as long as people want it, then that's you building your brand.
Yes, you're putting in the work daily or even weekly or however often, but you're just putting in
Hmm.
that work and giving to somebody because eventually you know that's kind of going to come back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Are you currently living off of your music? And if so, how did you make that transition?
I'm not currently. I'm still living with my parents since I like I'm 18. I
Hmm.
just graduated high school like less than a year ago.
Awesome, man.
So yeah, right now I'm at that part of my life where I'm just seeing where I can go with this and like hoping, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have, hopefully, I mean, I don't know if you pay rent or utilities or any of those things, but,
Yeah,
if
I
you,
don't.
good, bro. I was gonna say, like, from somebody who's a little bit older, from somebody who's like
Hmm.
lived on their own for a while, like, hold on to that and like just take advantage of it while you can. And if anything, stack your money till you're ready.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like something I wish my parents told me was, save your money and live with them and then save up enough to maybe make a down payment on a house, not rent, like buy a house
Yeah,
and then use that to kind of like move yourself forward.
that's what my dad was saying about he was saying get a condo or
Yeah, that
a
totally
townhome
works.
like yeah, because I don't need if I'm gonna live alone, I don't need like a huge place.
And the nice part is if you own something, even if it's a condo or whatever, you can always sell it.
Oh, that's true.
So you can live in
Yeah,
that condo for 3 4 years, however long you need, and then as you're saving up to make a down payment on something bigger and the music's going better and all that, like then you can either rent out the condo and that'll pay for your next house or whatever. It's a
yeah.
way you can definitely make a living though, and I would say save your money, make a down payment on a house before you buy a Lamborghini or something crazy, and it'll work out.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Thank you.
Um, how do you stay inspired musically and creatively?
I actually don't I try to like not limit myself. Like I go through phases. I'm sure everyone does, but I go through phases of like music, like the music I make and the music I listen to. And
Yes.
those are like really fast too. It's not like I could make a pack in the same genre. It's like it's like I will go through like 3 different phases of like styles in one sample pack.
I love that though. It's like, it's almost like it's like when you're eating good food, you don't only want to eat the same thing every day all the time. You
Yeah,
like to
yeah,
try
yeah.
a bunch of different things because they all taste good in a different way.
Hmm.
I love that.
Thank
Uh,
you.
what are some unorthodox ways you've made music before?
Um, I remember I was with my friend in his car and I connected my laptop to the Bluetooth speaker and I like made the beat in the car and he had this big ass sub in the back that would like rattle the the back window like when the bass is playing and he would
Yeah.
have to have a towel on it like to keep it from rattling. I think that was weird, but it was fun. we were in like we were in like a Rayleigh's parking lot.
That's
Oh yeah, you guys
amazing.
don't have Rayleigh's. I think you guys have Albertsons, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, we're in the North California Albertsons parking lot.
Just cooking up.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's awesome, man. And it's like, that's like a special moment. I'm sure that like, you'll remember
Yeah.
even when you're older.
Oh yeah. That was funny. I forgot about that.
See, that's why it's good to ask good questions.
Yeah, these questions are good.
What are some of the strangest places you've gathered inspiration from when making music? Even if it's from, a movie or art or music.
Huh. I think probably a movie, probably um Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049.
Nice. Yeah, it's a
Have you
good
seen that
good
movie?
score. I haven't seen it in
Oh
at least
man.
like a while since it came out.
It was really good. It was really depressing. Or not, I don't know. I don't know if it's depressing. It makes you feel really empty inside, but it doesn't, it kind of embraces on that fact. On the like, because I think the movie is like really embraces the synthetic and not and like artificial lifestyle in terms of like the dude had like Ryan Gosling, he had the girlfriend and she was like a hologram. Like she wasn't real and stuff like that. And I don't know. I really liked that movie, but it also did not, I didn't feel happy when I finished it.
That's okay. Sometimes that's
Yeah.
like how good art is, I feel like. Good art doesn't
Yeah.
always make you feel happy. More so, it just elicits an emotional response out of you that maybe
Hmm.
makes you feel or think something you don't normally feel.
Yeah. And that movie was, I don't know, I really liked the cinematography of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a big cinematography guy. Like, whenever I'm watching a movie, I like go crazy over an amazing shot or like a great angle or a way they like framed something. I'm huge on like films with good symmetry. Like Wes
Oh, really?
Anderson is the king of like symmetrical shots that feel like you could almost mirror them directly down the middle or something.
Damn. That's
Yeah,
funny. I haven't seen any Wes Anderson films, but I saw a Family Guy. They like did a Wes Anderson like parody or something.
yep.
It was funny.
See, you already know. You had a taste of it. Uh, what are your daily habits sort of like? Like your hours. Like when do you wake up? When do you go to
Mhm.
bed? Like your daily routine.
Normally, I should I need to fix it, but I wake up around like 9 or 10, and I try and eat lunch around like 11, 11:30 because I like to work out at 2,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to have my food all digested by the time I work out, or
Smart.
else or else it like sucks because then I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
But like yeah, so I work out like because the two main things in my life are like music and working out, and then I have like I'm in school right now I'm in community college, but I'm not taking it super seriously right now because I'm not like I'm not ready to commit, and I don't really know what I want to do either. So
I
for me, it's
understand.
just like music and gym, and then normally I wake up, I brush and everything, and then I go. Yeah, I only eat 2 meals a day too. I
Nice.
brush, I eat lunch pretty early, and then I'll try and make some music or work on something from like 12 to 2, and then I'll go to the gym at 2, and then I'll come back at 4, and then I feed my dogs at 4, and then then after that it's like 4:30 or 5, and then from that till dinner time I'm working on music or something, either music or like or school or like um just anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, and then I go work on more music. Like it's kind of sporadic. Like I don't have a set time of like 1 to 6 to work on music or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then other days sometimes I like plan stuff. Like I'll go hang out with friends or something. But sometimes like sometimes I like end up hanging out with friends like too often, and then
I
I
get that.
realize I don't get enough music done or like I don't get enough work done.
Yeah, no, I feel that, but it's good. It sounds like you do have like a consistent, somewhat consistent daily routine and idea in your
Yeah,
head of like knowing I need to dedicate this time to the gym for my health. I need to dedicate this
yeah,
time to working on music because I know I want to build my brand and, optimize my
yeah, yeah.
future. Yeah, that's really smart. Like, and it's
Thank
it's
you.
okay. It makes the making time for your friends like okay, because I really think there's a balance between, you can't just be locked in your room all the time making
Oh yeah, most
music.
definitely.
You know, you can't just neglect going to the gym or neglecting your health more so. Like
Hmm.
those are even like little wins. Even if you hang out with your friends one day, the fact that you got up that day and still went to the gym and like ate healthy, like those are big
Yeah.
wins that are going to have you making music till you're older and not, weighing you down.
Yeah, most definitely. I love, for as much as I sit in my room all day, I love going outside and stuff, especially right now, because some reason California doesn't know what winter means. So we
Yeah.
have like we have like 60, 70-degree weather, which I'm not complaining, but it's really not good in the long run. Like in terms of we're not getting rain or anything, but for the outdoors, for hiking and everything, it's beautiful. And like I love going outside and doing stuff, but I just don't do it enough.
That's okay. You're making time, and as you find your way, you'll understand like maybe Monday through Friday I make music and dedicate that time pretty regularly, but then maybe you make sure Saturdays and Sundays like go out, go do something, The
Oh
beauty
yeah,
of
definitely.
the beauty of being in California is I feel like it's like one of those few states where if you wanted to, you could go to the mountains and go play in the snow. And even in the same
Yeah.
day, you could come back down and go to the beach and go play in the
Yeah,
ocean.
man, that's as much as like the taxes suck and like as high as the taxes are, as high as like the inflation is and everything. California's got it all.
It
You have,
does.
like you said, you have the mountains, you have the beach, and it's all within like a 2, 3 hour drive. You have like you even have the desert, like,
Yeah,
and you have the
100%.
redwoods, you have the forests. You just have it all. It's beautiful. Like I don't. You've driven on like Highway 1, right?
Yeah, PCH is incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I've driven from like San Diego all the way up to like Santa Barbara, I think I went, and just that whole drive
Really,
is so scenic and beautiful. And I'm a car guy. I'm somebody that likes cars and car culture, and so
that's awesome.
being in the car and driving there is just like a phenomenal thing. And you're 100% right, though. California really is a special place that has it all.
That's funny that you say you're a car guy. I was actually looking at just like just messing with the idea of like getting a cheap classic car, like one for like 5 grand or something,
Oh
and
yeah.
just having it. Or like the thing is, like I don't know how reliable it would be. Like I don't know how much it would break down or anything.
Well,
But
you talk to
just
me after, and we'll talk about it.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I was thinking like if I were to get one, I would need to get like a Toyota Supra from like 80s or 90s, because I know Toyotas last forever. You know,
I have a
because like
Toyota.
really,
My roommate has a Toyota MR2. If you're looking for a really cool car, like that's not super expensive, because the thing with the Supra is if you're trying to buy a Mark IV Supra, you're going to be paying 40 or 50 grand now. Like it's just what it is.
yeah.
The Mark III Supras from the late 80s are really cool. They look awesome, and there's not a huge premium on them yet. But if you're
Really?
looking for a really affordable Toyota that's like really cool, and even just like as like a starter kind of car, go look
Hmm.
at a Toyota MR2, specifically the second generation from the early 90s. They look super cool. They're really reliable, and they can make crazy horsepower. And they're not that hard to
Oh,
work
that's
on.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's I'm gonna Google that real quick,
Yeah, no.
just so I don't forget.
Yeah, I'll just send it to you, and you'll be good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
Here, sorry, let me stand my phone up.
yeah, you're good, bro. Uh, do you ever smoke or drink alcohol or coffee or anything when you're creating?
Um, I've smoked. Well, the thing is, when I smoke, I just get like really dumb. So if I'm trying to make music, I'll just be like, I gotta record guitar, and then I'm gonna go on my phone for like 30 minutes, and
Yep.
I'll be like, what was I supposed to do? And, and yeah, I think drinking doesn't affect making music as much though. It just makes it like it just makes me more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen, have you? I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a video of Tame Impala. He
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's making that whole entire song while like sipping
on
sipping
his
like a
wine.
gin or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, and he even talks about like I've seen interviews with him where he's talking about like the reason he does that is because he's trying to get in the mind state of like being loose, and if he was in the studio with a certain artist, like how that would
Hmm.
feel, and he just kind of lets the creativity flow from that.
Yeah, that's amazing. He's one of like, I don't know. I think he's like incredible, not solely because of the music he makes, but just because of his like his process and his perfectionism and his concepts and everything.
Definitely. I love that he does all of it himself in his
Hmm.
house in Melbourne or whatever where he lives.
And his house is amazing.
It's got the view of the ocean, got the big
Yeah.
speakers, got the drums set up, the mics set up everywhere. It's awesome.
The only thing that I bet sucks probably is like he probably has like 5-inch huntsman spiders in his house since
Got to be
he's in
careful.
Australia. Yeah.
Definitely. Um, what is the rhythm of your creative process sort of like? You know, like where do you normally like to start a sample and then kind of
Yeah.
flow from there?
Um, so the thing is, or for me with sample making or making anything in general, I like to either have an idea or like a reference before I go in. Because like I've tried to create just working or normally I'll have a reference, an idea and I'll make something and when I finish it, it sounds nothing like the reference or idea. But it's just like a starting point.
Yeah,
Because like I just starting a sample or starting a beat is just the hardest part for me.
I could see
Because
that.
getting the workflow once I have ideas, once I lay some stuff down, then ideas kind of just start like flowing.
Yeah, like that totally makes sense. It's almost like hopping in your car and like if you don't know where you want to go, you could be driving forever, but if you at least have a destination in mind,
Yeah,
you know, you can find your way along the way.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've said it before to other people, but like I like to make it in my head, make the beat or make the melody or make the sample in my head first, and then when I make it in the DAW, it's like I'm recreating it.
That's smart. Uh, Typically from the time inspiration strikes you or it takes you to find a sound, about how long before you have a completed sample or idea?
Um, Either many hours or like a few days. Like
Nice.
I sometimes I'll work on a sample and then it'll be like kind of a blank canvas and then I'll come back to it the next day and finish it up or I'll just add some stuff the next day and I'll just keep doing that for a few days. But normally it's like either 1 or 2 days.
Okay, cool. Do you think taking like ear breaks is important while you're making your music?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely cuz like I've had this with like my one of my most recent samples. Like it sounds good when I listen to it and then I come back the next day and the melody just kind of sounded like boring. So I was able to like kind of fix it up. But yeah, I think just having breaks and having it's not as much having breaks, but kind of refreshing it. So it's like you're hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And then you can see like it's like listening to it from the perspective of someone who hasn't heard it yet.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like that's why ear breaks are important and things like that. Like for me
Hmm.
recently, I was working with an artist named Jalen, who is somebody I've produced two of her projects, and we're working on her like third. And this third project is going to be like her most ambitious one to date. And
Nice.
a couple days ago, thank you. We were working on. I was working on writing a cello part for the song, and I had wrote like one melody. I was like, okay, I don't know how I feel. Let me save it on a different tab. And then I started working out a second melody, and I was like, I don't know. And then her and I just took a break, and we ate some vegan chili and went for a walk. And then we came back, and as soon as I sat down and like had that little break, I heard the cello part I had written, the second one, and then I immediately knew like what changes I had to make. And I was like, I got it. And as
Yeah,
soon as I
that's
made those
perfect.
changes, it just flew. It just like was flawless.
That's a perfect thing.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just got to take
going
those breaks.
can't be taking those breaks in the summertime though.
Yeah, you got to find ways around it, you know, but you know,
Yeah.
there's always like easier ways I feel like to get to your destination versus maybe banging your head against the wall for an hour trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Um when you're kind of working on a sample, what's that feeling in you that says like, okay, I'm excited, I want to move forward like to the next layer or sound? Like what does that sort of feel like to you? Like how do you recognize that?
To me, it's kind of like it's kind of when it's starting. Like if I have a reference, and if the reference is like, let's say for example, one of my most recent samples that I like a lot was the reference was like a really old jazz song. And since it's like an actual song, like an actual sample, and not like a reference of like a Coupe de Tree sample or something, then it's a lot harder to make because I don't have like the instrumentation. I don't have like a violin, or like all I have is like a guitar and a bass and like a synth and stuff, which is like a lot already. But like for jazz, it's like not that much, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the feeling is just like being able to recreate a vintage sound without having the owl hug setup, you know, without having like uh, a lot of layers, or not layers, without having a lot of instruments that you can record in a bunch of gear. I think just being able to do it in your DAW and have everything by ear and stuff. And I think that's like the best. It's like the feeling of like pushing yourself, seeing like what you can and can't do, and then doing what you normally wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah, that's definitely well said. I would agree with that 100%.
Thank you.
Um, about how long does it take for you to put together a sample pack, and how do you know when it's finished?
Um, a sample pack for me will take anywhere from like 2 months to like 3 months. It's weird. I'm trying to work on it, or I'm working on a sample pack right now, but my it's like kind of overlapping with this because the new sample pack that's dropping under Unknown is actually another one with AOA, and that one I'm working on right now. But I'm also working on others for like a independent release. So it's kind of like I'm working on two sample packs at the same time, but it takes like around 2-3 months. And then I also like to add extras, like either extra samples that are kind of like demos, or like my last one I did a one shot kit,
Hmm.
and it had one shots, it had bonus samples, and it had like mixer presets.
That's
And I
awesome.
don't know, I've been toying with the idea of like having like an extra stems version that's like more, but it also has like a video breakdown for each sample. But I think
That would be really cool.
that would be like a huge file.
It's true. It would be, but maybe even I don't know, like maybe even testing the waters and seeing like maybe doing it for a couple of the samples, or maybe like if you buy the pack, you can get a download link to
Oh yeah,
like a video, like a zip file of all the video breakdowns if you want it. It's like the link's there, but I don't know, maybe something like
yeah,
that. So it's just not in the same individual file.
yeah. That's true. Yeah, and I'm actually also I'm doing a sample class like in like next week,
Awesome, man.
or I'm gonna either announce. I should announce it today, but I'm gonna try and start it next week, and it's gonna be like a mini sample class. It's just one session, but they also have access to like a folder with a bunch of like video breakdowns, and like it's gonna have a list of like plugins that I use and recommend, and like it's gonna have like sounds that I use, like my one shot kit and stuff. Because like it's really it's designed to like help someone. It's not designed to make them become me, but like to help them approach things from a different perspective, kind of.
I like that. That's, you're kind of giving them insight into discovering their own sound, but maybe using the tools that you use to make that journey easier.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really good, man. And like that's helpful for the community. I feel like that's something that needs to be seen more.
It was really just like theoretical because I don't know if you kind of also have to think about like the people who are buying the packs are like using it for beats.
Mhm.
So like I don't know if it would help them as much as if it would help like the people who are making samples.
I get
Because
that.
I think like sample makers aren't buying as many sample packs since they make samples. Or like me personally, I don't really buy packs unless it's like X Y nothing one shot kit or like something that I'd actually use a lot.
I get that. Yeah, for me, like I think because I work with my core friend group are all artists, and I'm like the sample maker guy, and I have one other friend
Yeah.
who's a sample maker as well, but he's also his own artist beyond just making samples. And I'll buy packs because one reason that I'll buy the sample packs is I love buying the packs for the stems and then like
Oh
going through
yeah.
each stem and being like, okay, what's the bass line doing? What's this part doing? And kind of seeing it's almost
Yeah.
like if you got to go to a restaurant and eat an amazing dish and then the chef was like, here's the ingredients list. You get to like look at the ingredients and see how they
Yeah.
all blend together to make that amazing dish you love.
The Coop the Truth stems, they leave me more confused than I was going into
I feel
them.
that.
Those and the Nami stems.
Yeah, it's like you hear them and you think it'd be easier or like you'd be able to figure it out, and then you hear it and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm left even with I've got 1,000 more questions.
Yeah, because it seems like when you look at the stems, there's parts like just one texture in a whole 2 minute sample. It's just like a weird bloop noise. And it just fits so well, but like it just leaves you wondering like what made him do that. And it's probably if it was me, it's just like experimenting with guitar and guitar pedals. But for him, it's I don't know. I feel like it's probably with pedals and
Yeah,
synthesizers.
definitely. Um, when are the times you find yourself having the most fun in the studio?
Honestly, it's really when I'm live recording everything. Like I'll be recording guitar. It's because you get like such a good process going when you just lay down guitar chords and then you lay down a lead guitar over and then you get a bass line and then you just keep adding things and then you realize or when I realized like everything I've done was like live recorded and then because I used to do everything digital and I'm sure like a lot of other producers do but the the process with live recording and like the workflow is just like amazing because it just feels so organic and
I
like
agree.
it feels like you're doing it right if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely what Mario and Al taught me was like play as many live instruments as you can because at the end of the day, you want these samples to feel like they were actually played or they're real. They want to
Yeah,
you
like
want to
real
add that
samples.
human element.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, what would you say is your signature sound if you had to define it?
um I'm I wouldn't say I have a signature sound yet, but I'd say like what I've been told is that my most distinguishable parts of my samples are the vocals and like the guitars,
Yeah, I would
which
agree with that.
like I think I could see it, but at the same time, like everyone like plays guitar and does vocals. But I don't know, maybe it's just this style. Like maybe it's just my interpretation is like what I said earlier.
I definitely would agree with that. And it's even like you were saying about your process of creating your vocals is a little bit different than other people's, and that's what ends up making your signature sound.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the next section that I have. This is called For the Nerds. This is kind of the more plugins and those kind of things.
Yeah.
What are some of your most regularly used plugins?
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but Fruity Flangus.
Oh no, that's good, man. I know a lot of people that use that stock fruity flanger and they love it.
Yeah, but the Flangus, it has this one like it's if you turn down the flanger and the chorus, then you have this delay effect. And if you turn that all the way up, it's like a little millisecond delay and it makes it really wide.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it sound like it makes your whatever you're doing, it makes it sound like really thick kind of and it makes it have like a room sound. And I love it. And I use it in like every sample.
Yeah, I
It's
love
Fruity
that.
Flangus and Fruity EQ2 is like my most used plugins.
Nice. Are there any like other VSTs or anything you like to use for like pads or maybe
Oh,
keys or anything like that?
yeah, the Spitfire Labs. They have really good like free they have piano and violin and stuff and it sounds so good. Like
Definitely.
everything is like free that I like the most for some reason. I got this one piano or keys VST and it has like electric and then it also has Rhodes and they both sound amazing. And it's called Keyzone Classic, I think. And
That's
it's great.
awesome.
It's free too.
See, and it goes to show you, you can have professional level sample packs released even with free plugins.
Yeah, 100%. I don't believe in like just buying VSTs because it's like hyped up or something. I think like just knowing how to use the ones you already have will like take you pretty far too.
Well
And
said.
then like there of course there's limits like FL Studio doesn't really have like I use NS1 on everything to cancel out noise and
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think FL Studio has like an edit or alternative for that. And
Makes
like I
sense.
use like J37 in Reels like for tape saturators. Like I don't think FL Studio has that either. But it's like the stuff like dynamics I use mostly FL Studio, like EQs and compressor and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome though. I mean, it all adds into like your sound as a whole. Is there any like is there certain delays or anything like that that's maybe not just native to FL or anything that you like to use or do you just use the native stuff?
Mostly native, like what's it called? Like the Fruity Delay. Like they have like three delays or something. I use the one without a number. It's just called Fruity Delay. And then I recently got this pedal, the Chase Bliss Therme.
Ooh, that's a
That
heater.
thing's insane. It's like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe what it does.
No, it's
Because
it's
it's
an
like
incredible pedal.
yeah, it's a pitch shifting delay, but it's also like a lot more than that.
Yeah, you should, maybe I don't know if you've seen Al Hug has like a pedal attachment called like Lewis, and it's like a
Oh
LF,
yeah.
it's like an LFO thing. So maybe it's you're like able to automate LFOs or things like that. But you could probably plug that into the Chase Bliss pedal and then just have even crazier options with that amazing piece of gear.
That'd be crazy. I think I gotta wait a little bit before I buy anything else.
That's all right. You got your hands full right now, and you have enough good stuff right now. I'm sure.
Yeah, and like I just dropped like over 500 on this.
Yeah, it's worth it though. I know your next
It's
batch of
worth it
samples with
for
that are
sure.
going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's the textures it creates are insane because like me personally, I don't think I'm very good at making like textures intentionally. Like I can't sit down and like do the stuff that like XY or Nami does. Like but with this pedal, it's like you could just record a bunch of stuff and then you could just chop it up and like take out like a random part that you like and like that's your texture. And it's really cool.
Yeah, so there you go. Maybe you're going to get really good at textures with this new piece of gear.
Yeah, I hope so.
What are your most regularly used instruments or pieces of gear that you have?
Definitely my here it's right here. It's an Epiphone ES335. I actually got it in December.
It's an
And
amazing guitar. It looks great.
yeah, it's a semi hollow, so it has a really beautiful jazz tone. Because that's Me personally, that's like my favorite is a really warm tone.
Definitely. Any other pieces of gear you regularly use other than that one?
Yeah, I use other than for like recording, I use the well, I use I have like five guitars. I use three of them a lot. I use the one I just showed you. I use my bass. It's a TMB 100 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an Ibanez. It's like the cheapest quality bass that there is, like one of them. And then I have this one classical guitar that I got on Facebook Marketplace for like $100.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. To me, I don't with acoustics. I'm not super well versed in acoustic guitars. Like to me, an acoustic guitar is an acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't know the difference between like what tone it makes or anything other than like strings.
Yeah, I get that. Um, what are like the essential elements that you gravitate towards when you're making your samples?
100% guitar. Like I don't think I've made a sample that doesn't use guitar in like months.
Nice. So
And
guitars and then like vocal, I
yeah,
think.
yes, vocals like lately I feel like my vocals I feel like I haven't been like as happy with the result of my vocals, so I've been doing a little less vocals in my samples. But I still one thing I like to do a lot is the vocal layers. Like I'll just record like a vocal melody like four times and then I'll layer them in, I'll pan them, and then I'll mix them, and they just end up sounding like they sound all right.
Yeah. I was talking to TY Jake and that was one thing he told me. He's like, I'll just stack a vocal like, each line of it like 3 or 4 times and
Yeah,
because you have multiple layers, they kind of end up canceling out the bad notes.
yeah, yeah, kind of. For me, I went the Kobali route because he told me like pitch down the sample and record, and then just pitch everything back up after. And
Mm-hmm.
then, but for me, my voice when it's like pitched up, it sounds weird. So I gotta stop doing that. It's harder to mix too.
Yeah, but you'll find a way around it, I'm sure, just through
Hmm.
trial and error.
Yeah, and then another way is like recording vocals on your iPhone is like I'm sure a lot of people have said that, but I don't know why. It's so good though for
Yeah,
samples.
the iPhone mic has something special, I feel like.
Yeah, it's super compressed and it gives it a really warm sound too.
Definitely. Like that's sauce right there for sure, man.
Yeah.
Do you play all the instruments that we hear in your sample packs for the most part?
Yeah, yeah. For the most part, I don't really with the synthesizer, I have a Prophet Rev 2, but I haven't learned the keys yet. So I use MIDI out and
Okay.
it's kind of like cheating, but it works so well that like
Yeah, it ends up sounding amazing though, because you're getting the
yeah,
sound from the Prophet, but like the control of the MIDI.
yeah, exactly. And then this I use like this one plugin called Chord Triton or Triton Extreme, and I use it for like strings. It gives a really nice or it has like a super large selection of like presets. It's kind of like if you go to like a guitar store and you see a piano and it's like a chord piano and it has presets, it's like that. Like it just has a ton of presets like claves, piano, guitar, like everything. Because it's what the Neptunes used to use like a ton, and I just got the VST emulation of it.
Nice. That's really cool, and like it gives you just like another palette of sounds to end up using in your
Yeah,
toolkit.
yeah, 100%. And it's like it gives like the classic sound since it's like a lot of older songs used really similar sounds or use the same sounds. So like if you go searching enough, you could find sounds that you hear in like a bunch of Neptune songs and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What are some of your favorite ways to transform or reshape a sound?
Um, for synthesizers, I like to Like there's this one preset on the Prophet that I use a ton. It's this one arpeggio. I like to filter it a little bit, and then I add reels, and then I add like delay and reverb to make it really ambient and atmospheric, and that like makes it sounds like a vintage synth because of the filter and reels, but it also sounds really like atmospheric and like modernized with the delay and everything.
That's
And
really
then oh yeah,
creative.
this trick with the guitar, I don't think anyone does it. Like this is like I don't know, I just like it a lot. But if you pitch up, you record your guitar chords, do whatever you want to do, and like add like wobble to it with like J37 or something, and then you pitch it up an octave in like in FL Studio. Like you know how you could edit samples
Hmm.
before it goes to the track, you pitch it up, and then in the mixing track you pitch it back down an octave with like sound shifter, and it has like a super lush sound.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It like takes out all the high end, and it sounds super watery. Like
That's really cool. Like, thank you for sharing that. I feel like that's
yeah, of
definitely
course.
a creative tool that somebody's going to hear this and want to go jump right into the DAW and give it a shot.
Yeah, I think it's like awesome because like especially when you add like the wobble effect from J37 or something, it sounds super moody.
Yeah, definitely. That's really cool. Uh, what are some of the most underrated or slept on plugins in your opinion?
Um, I think Guitar Rig. I mean, it's really well known, but a lot of people, I don't know, it's just what I use. And I'm like, a lot of people say that like a lot of plugins are better. I just haven't tried those plugins.
Yeah.
I think Guitar Rig's what I use the most since I play a lot of guitar and I don't have like my amp is really old and it's like my sister's old amp and it's like it's not like an actual amp. It's like one of those kid amps that you just buy as like part of a guitar set.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but like Guitar Rig's really good. All the stock plugins are really good too, I think, or most of them. Some of them are like not, some of them aren't that good, but most of them are pretty good in terms of mixing. I don't use any of the stock synthesizer VSTs. Or
Yeah.
Morphine's pretty good.
So yeah, you have like a couple of the stock synthesizers you enjoy, but for the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
part, but like the stock effects and those kind of things are really kind of
oh yeah,
underrated.
yeah. And then yeah, I'm gonna look at my plugin list right now to see.
Yeah,
Um, Vocal synth is actually crazy.
I would agree. I've used vocal synth in a lot of different crazy ways that people wouldn't always
Yeah,
expect, I feel like.
it's incredible what you can do with it. Like the stuff you could make with it could sound so different from like the original vocals.
Yeah. And like even using it like I don't know, there's just a lot of processing and crazy things you could do with vocal
Yeah,
synth, like using the guitar as like the sound that's kind of maybe shaping the vocal harmonies. Stuff like that. I don't know.
yeah,
Like using it
it's
like a
crazy.
vocoder kind of thing.
Yeah, and they have so many like effects you can do and so many presets. Some reason it's super hard for me to get like a clean sound with it.
Yeah,
I
it
think
does have some like
probably just a
digital
lot of
stuff.
noise. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think also OTT is like I don't know if it's underrated, but like I use it a lot for like sine waves because it always adds like white noise to the sound, and that gives it like a cooler, compressed vintage sound.
Yeah. It's like adding the noise that sounds good.
Yeah,
What
I
is
think I think that's it.
what
Or
is
sorry.
no, you're good. What is some secret sauce that you wish you had known earlier on when you started out making music?
Um, the flangus, like turning the delay all the way up, and it's like there's like an SPD slider that you turn all the way down. I think flangus. Secret sauce is really also just like learning an instrument. as like
Definitely.
as as not secret as it sounds, learning guitar like was the probably the best decision I could have done for like my music, other than like making a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So you feel like in addition to learning an instrument, like making a YouTube channel was like a way that really helped you
Yeah.
improve your music?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. When you get versed in the community and everything, your learning curve goes like crazy. Like I was just progressively like learning like beats and stuff and like creativity and stuff and like trying new things. And then once I started the channel and started like meeting other producers and like talking and stuff, not even like I wasn't even learning from them. I was just like studying other beats and like it's just skyrocketed. Like
Yeah. I feel like it's like once you're I heard one time it's like there's this thing called like the law of 33, and it's like the law of 33%, which basically is spend 33% of your time with people who are kind of like beneath your skill level, so you're teaching them something. Spend
mhm,
33% of your time with people at your current level, so you all are working together. But then also make sure you're spending 33% of your time with people above you, because those people above you have already done what you're doing, are going to elevate you to that next higher level, and you're going to up your production like crazy.
that's smart.
Yeah, it's like you're learning, like you're teaching to those beneath you, you're learning together with those around you, and then you're learning the things you don't know from the people who have already done it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's great.
Yeah, give it a shot, man. See, I mean, you're already kind of doing it, you know, and by people messaging you and you responding to their messages about how you process certain sounds and things, you're
Hmm.
teaching by being around others, fellow sample makers. Like you're already, you guys are swapping ideas and learning from each other. But then,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to my final five. These will be my last five questions for the interview.
Okay.
They can be a one sentence or one word. They don't have to be very long answers if you don't want them to be.
Okay.
What is something you wish more people did in their music?
Experiment. I think like I think people get too comfortable sometimes in terms of their styles and they just do what they know. I think experimenting is part of it's like an essential part of music and growth.
Well said. I would agree.
Thank you.
Where do you see music going in the next 5 years?
I think basically the same or like music like in the industry.
Yeah,
Oh, I think it's like the same. Probably maybe one more Kanye album or something. But
definitely.
like I think um I feel like it'll be pretty similar to how it is now. Maybe just more accessibility, like how before it was CDs and now we have streaming. I think maybe hopefully Spotify like paying artists more and other streaming services paying artists more.
Yeah, I hope so. What would you say is the best way for a sample maker to improve their samples?
Um, I think trying a new style. Like if you make R&B samples, maybe try making like soul or jazz samples.
Definitely. What is the worst advice you've ever received?
Um, find what you're good at and stick to it.
Yeah, definitely. Like kind of like going beyond that, and
Yeah.
don't just feel comfortable, like push yourself.
Yeah, I think the worst thing to do is get comfortable in terms of like not in terms of being stagnant.
Yeah, I would agree. And my last question, what is the best advice you've ever received?
I don't know. Um, I think maybe it's just like be patient because
Yeah.
like I saw one Instagram post. It was like some dudes like as an artist they blow up at like I don't know in their teens, and then Jay-Z was like I don't know. I think he was like 30s or early 40s when he like blew up as a rapper.
Well, he was 26 when he dropped his first album,
Oh, really?
and people told him he was too old to be putting out
Oh,
an
yeah.
album. But
Yeah.
then
So,
he
like,
became a billionaire, in his late 30s.
oh, That's crazy. Okay, that's really young to be a billionaire.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But yeah, I think just patience, which I need to follow that. So I'm like I'm personally like kind of an impatient person, but in terms of like for me, for things I can control, then like I just need to be more patient.
That's okay. You know, everything I feel like is happening at the right pace, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. You know, you're going at the right timing. It's like, you know, you want to be quick, but not in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's a good quote I've heard about it.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking your time with me today, Ty. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to your next pack coming out, like everything you have in the future. You know, you're young, you've got a good head on your shoulders and good ambitions, and I'm here for the journey. And, you know, maybe we'll touch base again in a year, see where you're at, and follow
Thank you.
up
Yeah.
and go from there.
Man, thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Anytime you want to chat or, you know, come on back, I'll gladly talk to you and have you on.
Well, definitely. Yeah. I'll talk to you about cars later because I know nothing about cars.
Well, I'll put you on. Don't even worry about it, brother.
Thank you.